What's up, guys?
It's Monday Miracle Monday.
Yay. So today we're going to be talking about things we wish we knew when we were younger. I think this is important because a lot of what we do this for is to be the people that we needed when we were younger.
Yeah.
So it's like the advice we have and like the things we've learned, the wisdom that we've gained. We want that to be like to reach like the people younger than us, people of all ages, but especially like younger. I'm sure we could do about 12 videos on
Yeah, for real.
But yeah, we'll start with that. So you can go ahead and start.
Okay. One thing that I wish I knew when I was younger is that nothing is permanent. I think I was so scared to make any decisions.
Oh yeah.
Because I thought that would be it. I would have to stick with it. I never allowed myself to change my mind. And so I didn't go to college right after high school because I was scared that that would be permanent.
Yeah.
And sometimes yes, the consequences of your actions can be permanent.
That's true.
But I think that something that we've talked about a lot on here is the redemption of God. God can redeem your circumstances. And so even if I had gone to college right out of high school and gotten a degree that I didn't want to use in the end, something could have still come from that.
Yeah.
And I'm not upset about where I am, but I wish that I had known that when I was younger, that nothing was going to be permanent.
Yeah, that's actually such a good one, especially when you're in that gap of the college age, because it feels
so
like every decision you make, absolutely your life depends on it.
Yes, it's going to determine the course of your life.
Yeah.
And there's so much pressure and there's so much it does feel so big, especially because really that's the first big decision of your life that you're making.
Yeah.
And it is really important and it should be something that you put a lot of thought into, but you should always know that you're allowed to change your mind.
Yes, exactly. I think it was also hard for us because some people's parents encourage them to go to college. Some people's parents even pay for it. And for us, it was...
Which is crazy.
Yeah. For us, it was that's your decision to make.
Yeah.
If you want to go to college, basically. Figure it out on your own. It wasn't something that was pushed. It was just whatever. But it was because of that, it was such a hard thing too, because it was you have to make this decision all on your own. There's no help.
Yeah, how am I supposed to I don't know how to go through the admissions process.
Exactly.
I don't know how to go through the application process.
Exactly.
I don't know how to fill out my FAFSA.
I didn't even know what that was.
Right.
So
yeah, I wouldn't have either if I didn't have older siblings.
Yeah. Well, that was all basically it was all new to me, and I didn't have anything I wanted to do either. So It was you basically are just forcing yourself to try something just because you want to say you're doing college or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my first one is that people's opinions of you really don't matter.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, if I could get my young self to understand that.
Yeah.
It's really hard because when you grow up around it, whether you're homeschooled or not, I'm sure it's worse in public school, but there's just the popular kids, there's the rich kids, there's the whatever. And I promise you, anyone who's younger watching this, if you're still in school, the popular kids will not be popular forever.
Yeah.
And one day you'll realize that they actually weren't that cool. Not to be a hater, but you do look back and think in your eyes when you're in that age, they're the prettiest person ever, they're the coolest person ever, they're the hottest person ever, whatever. And as you get older, you realize they actually weren't. It was just the fact that everyone thought they were that made it seem I don't know, it's just so much different than it seems. And as soon as you leave high school, none of that matters.
Yeah.
None of it matters.
So true.
And yeah, so the opinions of those people doesn't matter. The opinions of the people around you, how they think you should act, how they should think you should be, whatever, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. And most people that act like they hate you are actually just jealous of you.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's one thing I'd want to tell my younger self.
Yeah, it's so important to not live for the approval of other people.
Mm-hmm. It's hard. It's really hard.
So hard.
I was such a people pleaser. I mean, I still can be. I'm not completely free of that.
Yeah, and it helps to like get to know yourself and like I don't know, it's better to live for the approval. I mean, obviously, like we should all be living for the approval of God, bottom line. So we want to make sure our lives match up with what he tells us to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like hard because we want to be accepted. We all crave that acceptance and that like love, I guess, from other people, even though it's not real love.
Yeah.
Like we want the attention, we want the admiration, everything that comes with that. And that's probably why so many people like grow up wanting to be famous too, because those are like in this like age. Once you're out of high school, it's like the famous people are like the cool kids.
Yes, and it's so crazy because most people that get famous were the weird kids in school.
Yeah, that's
we're the ones
true.
they always tell stories like now the popular kids want to talk to me.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't matter. Like that just shows that it is all about like status and what people think. It's not actually about how cool you actually are.
Yeah, it's not about you at all.
Yeah.
It's status is a good way to say it.
Yeah, the status, but yeah.
The next thing that's on my list is that it's better to start something and change along the way rather than wait until you're ready, which that's like kind of the same thing as like it's okay to change your mind. But like I never start anything. I'm still like that.
No, me too.
And it's like hard because I want to make sure that I'm like ready, that I have all the pieces, that I have all the information, and that like whatever.
It's also like a perfectionist thing.
Yes, definitely. And a fear thing, like I don't know, there's a lot of layers to it for me. But it's just better to start because you can figure things out along the way. Like you don't have to know it all. And sometimes there are things that you're not like that you just can't think about, you can't plan for, you can't whatever. And so until you're in the thick of it. I'm looking at my room right now because my door's open and I'm even thinking to myself like I haven't started like rearranging my room because I don't know what I want it to look like.
Yeah.
And the truth is I am not going to know what I want it to look like until I start moving things around. And so like that's just such a good example of like just start.
Don't think onto it too much to this point of like
thinking it to death.
Yeah.
Until you're like, well, I'm too scared. Like I can't think of every single scenario, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. One thing that Gary says a lot is don't talk about it, be about it or something.
Yeah.
And like that's true because we spend so much time just thinking, talking, like planning, not planning in the sense of like actually planning, but just like, yeah, I plan to do this. I want to do this. But you'll do that forever if you don't just start. And that is always my problem too. I've gotten a lot better at that, but that was always how it was for me. Like, well, I want to do that. Like whatever. And that's a part of spontaneousness that helps me because it's like when I'm thinking about it in the moment, I just have to do it and that'll make me do it.
Yes.
Or else nothing else will. But yeah, that's a good one.
And also like some things just seem really scary before you start. And then once you start, you're like, okay, this isn't that bad.
Exactly. Like it's literally, this drives me crazy because it is that simple. Because I literally have so many instances where I'm like, what took you so even yesterday, biggest example, yesterday, I finally went to the post office to do my like change of address because they wouldn't let me do it online. It's been since February that I needed to do this, and it's May. And it was so simple, the simplest process, so easy, so quick. I didn't think it wouldn't be, but it's just like that mindset of like, it's something I have to do, so I don't like, whatever, you know?
And like you had never done it before. You had done it online, but you'd never done it in person. So like, what's that going to be like? How long am I going to be there? What questions are they going to ask me? Do I have all the right documentation?
And it makes you feel so stupid for waiting so long.
Yeah.
Same thing with phone calls. Like just make the phone call and you'll be glad you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one is a very valid one, but it's also kind of just funny. But to my younger self, you cannot trust boys, even Christian ones. And this, oh my gosh, like it's so hard now to talk to younger girls because I know they don't understand what I know now. And I didn't understand then because the way that they like talk about boys, obsess over boys, trust them. and everything. And then it's like, oh, well, he says he's a Christian. I'm like, yeah, they all say that. They tell you whatever you want to hear.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just would have saved me from a lot of hurt, a lot of trauma, a lot of pain, which you have to go through these things to learn. Right. So I'm not saying like I wish I never did that. Like I wish I never trusted a boy, whatever. But I do think it's like good to be mindful of that for like the younger people, that you really cannot trust them. Like you're probably not going to find like the love of your life when you're a teenager, most likely, especially like young teenagers. And it can really like mess up your life. Like it could really like mess up your mental health, and it can mess up like a lot of things for you and create like trust issues and create like all these different things. And you have to really be mindful of that and focus on yourself and not impressing boys. Like,
yeah.
Focus on who you want to be, what you want to wear, whatever. Yeah, just don't focus on boys. Don't trust them. Don't
trust them.
Have fun, whatever, you know. Girls are always gonna have their little obsession over boys and stuff, but don't let it get to you too much, because don't let it consume you. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. The next one on my list is that I'm autistic. I wish I had known that so much sooner. Yeah, I was diagnosed as an adult, and that like made so much sense. Even when I was like suspecting it, I texted my siblings and I was like, I think I might be autistic. And they were like, yeah, you think? And even when I told my mom, she was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, that's something that I've learned a lot about myself and been able to have so much more grace for myself and not be so like, I mean, I still have like a really mean like inner voice.
We all do.
And so like that's something that I'm working on. But now it's like I understand why I am the way that I am, and that helps so much. It's like crazy. And it's also just like, I don't know, it makes me feel like not so stupid when I can't like do things that other people can do.
Yeah.
And like that seem like it should come easy to me or something. It just has answered so many questions for me.
Yeah. Love that.
I love it about myself.
Okay. Then this one kind of ties in with the last one, but it's just be yourself.
Yeah.
The way that you dress shouldn't come from like what's popular, what's trending. It shouldn't come from like what is everybody else wearing, what is like people on TikTok wearing, like whatever. Like obviously when I was younger, TikTok wasn't a thing, but any type of social media. Just be your own unique self. Find the things that you like, you genuinely like, and wear it with confidence. Who cares if that's not what is popular or if it doesn't look like the other people that you're around? That's actually what makes you different and makes you stand out. And like even the way you talk, like the way you do things, be yourself, be your unique self, like truly to who you are. And I promise you that it will shine through no matter what. Even if people act a certain way towards you or bully you for it, even, again, people only treat you like that if they're actually jealous of what you have. And even though it's more common to dress a certain way and to act a certain way, think a certain way, whatever, at the end of the day, like who you are is so much cooler than trying to be somebody else. Yeah, just be who you really are.
Yeah, and I think that it's like you have to give yourself permission to experiment, to find what you like. And that's part of like, it's okay to change your mind too. Like that's funny that ours like go together.
For real.
'Cause like, you know, sometimes you don't know who you are. Sometimes you don't know what you like when you're younger. And so it's like,
it's just like natural to just follow along with what your older siblings or your friends are doing.
But it's okay to like be different, and it's okay to experiment. And if you like want to be, you know, like super sporty one month, you can be super sporty. And then if you're like, actually, I don't like this, like you can change.
From 4th to 5th grade, I made a complete switch. I went from girly girl, pink. I mean, blue was always my favorite color, but my mom loved to dress me in pink. So yeah, like I wore a lot of pink up until 5th grade. I did dance, I did softball, I did cheerleading. The year I did cheerleading was 4th grade.
Yeah.
The next year, complete switch. I went to basketball. I turned into a tomboy. I stopped wearing pink, really. I would just wear like blue or just like mostly blue. And you can literally tell in the pictures, like 4th grade to 5th grade, 2 completely different people. Yeah. I started wearing like jorts. I started wearing like t-shirts that probably boys would wear.
Yeah.
And obviously when you play basketball, you're automatically like, you are pretty much enter into the tomboy world. Not always, but most of the time that's how it is, especially back then. But yeah, so it's fine to do that as well. Like,
yes. And like that doesn't make you any less authentic.
Yeah.
It in fact makes you more authentic, because if you're like honest about, oh yeah, I liked that, but now like I've moved on and now I like this, and you can still appreciate the things that you liked in the past, but like it's okay to change and grow, and
it's fun to go through phases.
Yes.
Like even with music, like everyone has like I feel like everybody has like a rap phase, or like probably not you.
I never had a rap phase.
And then like a lot of people have like, yeah, punk phase, and then hardcore, metal, like all different phases. And sometimes your outfits change with those phases as well. Yeah. And like there's just a natural thing, but also just let your inspiration come from like people you love, but not in a way where you're trying to completely like copy them, make it your own. And I think that's, yeah.
The next thing that I wish I had known when I was younger is how to set goals. I did not really learn that until I was an adult. I was not good at setting goals. I just really couldn't comprehend how to set a goal. Like I just didn't know, because I wanted somebody to tell me what goals I should set.
Yeah.
I needed examples, I guess, of like, I don't know, because people would be like, oh yeah, like you should save for a car, you should save for a house. But like I didn't know what that meant. Like I didn't know how much I should save for a car. I didn't know how much I should save for a house. Like I needed more specific stuff.
Yeah.
I just wish I knew how to set smaller goals to reach bigger goals. I just had no idea what to do. Yeah. I don't know. And it's also important to have goals, which I have learned as an adult. It's important to have like small goals that you can reach like quickly.
Yeah.
That help you achieve your bigger goals. I don't know. It just didn't ever make sense to me. It just didn't make sense. And maybe that sounds stupid to some people who have always been good at setting goals, but not me.
Yeah.
So yeah, my goal right now is to buy a dog.
Can't wait.
I know. And that's something that like I'm really excited for, and like I think about it every single day, and like I don't know, that it just affects me, and like it affects the decisions that I make, and that's just what a goal is. And now I know that.
Well, my last one is I saved the best for last. Family really is everything. Like your siblings, you should care about more than you care about your friends. When you're like a teenager or a kid, like you don't really care about your siblings like that. It's just like, oh yeah, whatever. Y'all go through everything together, but it's like it can either make you closer or it can make you further apart. But I think like you really need to like lean closer to that and always have their back and become like close to them. And I know it's hard to do, especially when like y'all fight all the time and like everything, but I think like it took me a long time. Like I was close with my siblings, but it took me a long time to really understand like why I need to be, and also to not choose my friends over them, because I would do that a lot. I'm pretty sure all siblings did that. Like you would much rather be hanging out with your friends, and you'd rather be like tell your younger sibling like, no, you can't play with us, no, you can't come in the room, like no, whatever, because for some reason it was just so annoying to have your younger siblings try to be a part of like your friendships. And yeah, so I would say to my younger self, like, stop doing that and include your siblings in everything, and just be close to them, and never let any friendships come in between them, and never let any boys come in between them. And yeah,
that's good. I think as you get older, it becomes easier, because for me, I'm the youngest, so I didn't have any younger siblings to kick out. I was the one getting kicked out. But like, especially like, well, I guess with both my siblings, but like as we got older, like, I don't know, we just had more stuff in common, because when you're 4 years younger than your next oldest sibling, and then after that, like they were only like a year and a half apart or something. So they were going through phases of life that were very similar all their lives. They took classes together. They were just like always doing stuff together. And then there was this like little girl and they always saw me as like
a nuisance.
Yeah. And also like it was hard for them to see like that I was growing up, and that like as I got older I had more in common with them, because they always saw me like as their little sister, like the annoying like whatever. And now like it's not like that at all, because we're all in our 20s, but I'm the only one left. But yeah, I mean, we've all gone through, our frontal lobes are all developed. Maybe not all of us, but 2 out of 3. You know who you are.
Yeah, it's definitely important. It wasn't until I think I was probably like 18, 19 when like me and Erica became like super close, and like we had always done everything together, but I think that's when it was like it was no longer other friendships or anything involved, or like boyfriends or like anything like that. It was just
like you
our
guys
friendship.
were best friends.
Yeah. And then it followed suit with that to just be close with the rest of our siblings. Obviously they were really young, so it's gained a lot more over the years. Like now we pretty much FaceTime my younger sisters like all the time, every day. So yeah, but keep your family close if they're like especially your siblings, like as long as they're not toxic. But yeah. So what
makes me want to call the girls right now.
I know. So what was your mundane miracle of the week?
Wow, great question. I teach Sunday school every other week at church, and this past week was I guess it was like whatever, this past time that I taught, it was so cute and special, and like I don't know, the kids asked really good questions and they were all like listening really well, and I teach 1st and 2nd grade, so listening really well is sometimes a struggle.
She brought prizes.
I brought prizes. I made a whole prize box. And yeah, I'm looking forward to teaching again.
Love that.
What was yours?
Well, like I said, I had to go to the post office, and honestly, that's one of my mundane miracles, is the fact that I got that done. Because that was just so stupid. I've been getting mail in like so many different places, like where my parents are, my old address, like all that. It just kind of has been jumped around, so I haven't got any mail here at all. And I also was doing a delivery yesterday. And the person at the post office was really nice, and that's always a mundane miracle.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the post office people are so rude. Not like DMV rude, but they're just like, they seem like they hate their job, and they're just like, can I help you?
Yeah.
Like, whatever. And that person was nice. And then I did a delivery, and this lady was so grateful that I brought her groceries. She was so nice. Like, I felt like she was literally about to welcome me in her house. She was so nice. Like,
yeah.
Kindness really does go far. So, yeah.
Aww, that's sweet.
Thanks for listening, guys.
See you next week.
Peace.